Estate planning essentials are what we're talking about today on the Professional Edge. My name's Todd, tax attorney, certified financial planner. Thanks for listening in. And now we're on to the beneficiary designations, how they supersede whatever is in your estate planning documents. So the beneficiary designation could be on an IRA, a 401k, 403b, a TSP, or even life insurance. So we, as an estate planning attorney, need to make sure that those designations are coordinated with your estate plan. So a lot of individuals name their spouse as being the primary beneficiary on their estate plan or on their life insurance policy, and this might be a second marriage, don't know. If it is, then the last will and testament has no provisions with regard to that life insurance policy. So let's think about this for a second. The $1 million of life insurance goes off to that surviving spouse. It's a young marriage, so they're more than likely going to get remarried. And of that first marriage, they have some children, and there's no guarantee that the children of the first marriage are going to receive any of that $1 million of life insurance. So here might be a better plan for the estate planning essentials. Let's put our thinking cap on and say, all right, we're going to need to modify the beneficiary designation on that $1 million life insurance and make it to the estate of the insured. Now, let's think about that. That is now going to be subject to the terms of the estate planning document, the revocable trust, or the last will and testament. And in that document itself, now we're going to place a testamentary trust in force and effect and fund that testamentary trust with that $1 million of life insurance. Yes, we're going to control things from the grave, but there are certain reasons why you might want to consider this as part of your estate plan. Well, that $1 million goes into that trust. We allow the trustee to use it for their health, education, the maintenance support of that surviving spouse, and for the benefit of the minor children of the first marriage. But at no time at all will that surviving spouse be allowed to change the beneficiary or even leave the remaining proceeds of that life insurance policy to husband number 2 or wife number 2. So that's one thing, is the ultimate beneficiary will be the children of the marriage of the first part. So again, that's another plan where we can use a testamentary trust, making sure the beneficiary is coordinated with the estate planning documents and have it controlled by the testamentary trust. The other good thing is if the wife, the surviving spouse, should be involved in an accident and there's a creditor claim, the $1 million that's contained in this testamentary trust is isolated from the claims of that creditor. So again, being a tax attorney of 20 plus years experience, a certified financial planner, and a CPA, I start seeing things that make more financial sense and also estate planning sense and also tax sense. So again, if you have this $1 million policy at work and you're just naming your spouse because it's easy, not updating things, might want to give our office a call at 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. Because $1 million, we can protect it. We can give the surviving spouse access to that. But again, if the surviving spouse should unfortunately pass away unexpectedly shortly after your passing, then we want to make sure that those life insurance proceeds go down to the children of the first marriage, not to the new spouse or other children of some unknown origin. So again, that's another reason why we need to look at the beneficiary designations on your life insurance. Next, what's the beneficiary designation on your most valuable asset? Well, we think that's going to be your 401k or your IRA. So a lot of individuals, again, laziness takes place. It's spouse first, and they may even write the estate of the account holder as the contingent beneficiary, thinking that the last will and testament will control it. The answer would be yes, but you just let the tax time bomb, and therefore we have to distribute that IRA, the full balance 401k, within 5 years date of death. We don't get any stretch up to 10 years available if we do that. So let's not do that. But on that last, on the beneficiary designation on the IRA or 401k, again, being a listener here on the Professional Edge, you leave that all to your spouse. Well, that's all well and good. Spouse rolls that over into their own self-directed IRA. Spouse gets remarried. Guess what? Broker more than likely 9 times out of 10, is going to name husband number 2 or wife number 2 as being the primary beneficiary, not even really doing the right thing because, quote, as a stockbroker, it's not their responsibility to do estate planning. They're not a licensed attorney. The small print says, hey, you need to check with your tax advisor or your estate planning attorney on how this matters. So they just willy-nilly put the next spouse on that primary beneficiary, and therefore your kids of the first marriage are completely disinherited when the surviving spouse passes away. So again, it's a wake-up call to make sure that you understand the plan of distribution of your assets when you pass away. These are estate planning essentials. These are things that really matter. That $1 million of life insurance, the $500,000, $1 million you have in your 401k, if you're married, yes, we can give it to your surviving spouse. We can protect it. We can allow them to use it. But again, we can restrict it with proper planning that surviving spouse cannot disinherit your own children. So again, my number, 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. So who are we going to place on the beneficiary designation line as a primary beneficiary? Well, if you named your spouse, you should be jotting down the telephone number I just gave you because that's the wrong beneficiary designation, especially in younger marriages or even second marriages. So a lot of you are looking at each other right now saying, wow, I think I need to make that call, but who's going to call first? Well, just make the call. Because here's what we can do. We can do a designated beneficiary trust of being the primary beneficiary on that IRA or 401k. Now it says, going to allow the surviving spouse to use it, have access to it. But again, I, as the account holder, am going to guarantee that my children are not going to be disinherited by this asset. So therefore, my surviving spouse is not going to have the opportunity to update that beneficiary to the next spouse in line. So, you're all saying, well, if I lose my husband, lose my wife, I'm not going to get remarried. Well, we have longevity going forward, and people are getting married in their 70s now. It's the fact of the matter. So again, you're planning now. You want to protect your family. You've earned the money. And it's okay to allow your surviving spouse to use those assets. And if they should pass away, you probably want your own kids to receive the balance of that 401k or IRA. And again, if you name your spouse as a primary beneficiary on that IRA or 401k, there is absolutely zero guarantee. Zero. Again, no guarantee whatsoever that you will not disinherit your kids. So if that alone is not a wake-up call, I don't know what is. Most people don't want to disinherit their kids, but that's your own choice. So again, if you name your spouse's primary kids as contingent, it's a wake-up call. You need to do some advanced planning. If you want to guarantee, yes, I can say that word on air, guarantee that you want your children to receive the remaining balance in that 401k or IRA. And down here in Columbus, we know there's a lot of companies in transition. The economy's been hard on a lot of individuals, and they have multiple old 401ks laying around that they don't have any clue who the beneficiary is on these accounts. They haven't looked at it in years. They've left it alone. This is a great wake-up call to get things in order. Get your estate plan done, get your retirement income plan done, and do some tax planning. And that offer is at emcthebundle.com. That is Echo Mary Charlie, thebundle.com. Put those three together, being a licensed tax attorney, we can draft the estate planning documents to make sure all the beneficiaries are done. Make sure you're not going to disinherit your kids. It's not going to be intentional, but it could happen unless your plan is correct. We then turn over on and put the certified financial planner hat as a registered investment advisor. We then look and do your retirement income analysis to make sure you are going to run out of time before you run out of money. And then the final thing, being a CPA, we look and do some tax planning if there are available structures that we can put in place. Again, not going to sign my name to counsel and advice so you put on an orange jumpsuit and we both go to jail. I do not want to be your cellmate. So take advantage of that. It's a great bargain to get things motivated to start off 2021. I know 2020 was difficult for a lot of individuals. I still don't think we're out of the weeds with the COVID, even though we're having the vaccine being administered as quick as possible. So again, look at emcthebundle.com. That is emcthebundle.com. So let's recap the estate planning essentials that we covered. You got to make sure you have your estate planning documents in place. That is either a last will and testament or a funded revocable living trust. The next document you want to have is a durable financial power of attorney to address when you become mentally incompetent, that the decision maker can step in to take care of your financial affairs. That document becomes null and void when you pass away. The last one you have is your advanced healthcare directive. When you're in that last stage of life, what medical treatment do you want or do not want? That allows you to make that decision now, so that way it's not a huge emotional burden on your family. It's going to be tough enough when that time comes, but at least now they have your wishes to go by, and that will relieve some of that emotional pressure on them. So we have those are your essential documents, but as we've learned, the beneficiary designation on certain assets supersedes whatever is in your estate planning documents unless it's coordinated. Being a tax attorney, 2,000 plus estate plans, we can help you make your estate plan effective. Again, go to emcthebundle.com. That is emcthebundle.com. Other thing I want to announce is these are on podcast now. So go to our website. There's a link there. When we post a new show, you'll get a notification on that. Again, share this information with your friends. Say, hey, if you're thinking about estate planning, check out this podcast. This gentleman maybe knows a couple things or two that you might want to consider. Again, thanks for listening in. My name's Todd, tax attorney, CPA, certified financial planner. And until next time, have a great day. Make the most of it.
We've all thought about it. Everyone listening will need one. Not having one can cause untold heartache, family conflict escalating to the point of a lawsuit. One simple thing that avoids all that: an effective estate plan. As a practicing tax attorney, Todd with Estate Management Counselors has completed over 1,000 estate plans during his 15 years of professional practice. He can help you implement an effective estate plan, coordinate your financial accounts, and make sure you have named the proper beneficiaries to maximize your tax savings. Call 877-654-9798 today and let tax attorney Todd help you implement an effective estate plan. Call 877-654-9798 today. As a tax attorney, CPA, for over 15 years, Todd has implemented over 1,000 individual estate plans. He has recently authored an especially helpful guide, How to Unlock the Ultimate Estate Plan. This guide has helped many individuals to understand the benefits of an estate plan and how to avoid unintended disasters. has made every attempt to write this in plain English. To receive this valuable guide, How to Unlock the Ultimate Estate Plan, call 1-877-654-9798 and request your complimentary copy today, or by emailing your request to info@emcadvisors.net.